be 1 minute. All right. The directive principles of state policy can be broadly classified into 3 categories. Okay. Number 1 is principles promoting economic equality. Number 2, Gandhian principles. And number 3, general principles. Okay. You might get an objective question based upon this. So you just need to remember. Now, what's more important is the difference between directive principles and fundamental rights, which we had already studied in the previous class. So let's understand more in depth. First, directive principles are guidelines and instructions to the state to help in framing and making of policies. Okay. So what are basically directive principles? They help the state to frame and form the policies. Okay. In making the policies. But on the other hand, what do fundamental rights do? They give rights and privileges to every citizens. Okay. And it's entitled to. We have discussed the fundamental rights, the list of fundamental rights in the previous class. Yes, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So, this is the basic difference between directive principles and fundamental rights. Next point. These are non-justiciable, meaning they cannot be enforced by law, as we had studied in the previous on the previous page, that directive principles, if anybody is violating that, if anybody is not following, then that particular violation is not punishable. Okay, it cannot be enforced by the law. All right. For example, if anybody is not following the directive principles, then no one can take action against that person. But in case of fundamental rights, it's completely opposite. These are justiciable. Okay. That means that their infringement could be taken to the court. For example, we know we have various fundamental rights given to us. If anybody does not get their fundamental right, then they can approach to the court. Third, these inform the citizens about the state's economic and social objectives or goals. Okay, so directive principles, they inform the citizens about economic and social objectives. Now, what about fundamental rights? Fundamental rights informs the citizen that the state is accountable in protecting the civil liberties of every citizen. That means over here in fundamental rights, it informs the citizens that it is the state government who is responsible, okay, for what? For protecting their fundamental rights, which has been given to every Indian citizen. All right. Have you all understood the difference, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, very good, very good. So let's do the quiz.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ideas of welfare state are contained in dash. Welfare of state ideas are contained in where?
Fundamental rights.
Is it fundamental?
And directive
Principles of state policy.
Directive principles.
Very good, very good. Let's click on that. Let's see. Come on. Yeah, very good. Next question. The directive principle have been taken from the constitution of dash. Which country?
Ireland.
Excellent. Very good, Siddhi. Very good. Keep it up. Next. The elements of directive principle of state policy are explained in the article.
36 to 51.
36 to 51.
Very good, very good, very good. Next. Which part of the Constitution of India ensures the social and economic democracy? Listen to the question carefully. Which part of the Constitution of India ensures social and economic democracy?
And directive principles of state policy.
Yes, let's do.
Hmm.
Very
Ma'am,
good,
it is
Kinjal.
true.
Kinjal, give her a big round of applause. Kinjal gave the answer correct. She deserves. Very good, very good, very good. Keep it up, Kinjal. Now, this is a bit tricky. Let's see who answers this question correctly. Okay, it's a challenge for you all. Let's see. Understand the question, then only you will get the correct answer. Okay, let me read the question. If the directive principles of state policy would have not been enforced by government, where can the citizens go?
Supreme Court.
National Human Rights Commission.
National Human Rights
Commission.
Rights Commission.
I am again saying, understand the question. We just learned the
High Court.
Ma'am, present
None
right,
of
ma'am.
these.
Ma'am, none of these, ma'am.
I am not
Ma'am,
saying that. Since
Ma'am,
you did
none of
not
these.
give these answers.
Ma'am, present bulb.
Ma'am,
No,
National
everybody
Human
please
Rights
tell me.
Commission.
None of these.
Who said that? Very good. Give a big round of applause.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, I also told
None
ma'am.
of these.
Me and
Ma'am, I
Kashif
also
said
told.
first.
Yes, ma'am.
Kashif. Kashif, give the answer right.
Yes, ma'am. Me and
Okay.
Kashif gave it the same.
Okay, give him a big round of applause. Come on, everyone.
Ma'am, only I am clapping.
Okay, you
Also
also
clapping
clap.
virtually.
Okay, before he clicks, I want the one of the child to explain me why it is none of these.
Ma'am,
Because
can I explain, Samriddhi?
1 minute, Samriddhi, 1 minute. Because when I read this question, most of the students gave me High Court and Supreme Court, okay? And only few students gave me the answer, none of these. Now, all those who told me it is none of these will explain me why it is none of these.
Ma'am,
Yes,
Can
Samriddhi,
I
go ahead.
Ma'am, can I explain?
Ma'am, I am explaining. Ma'am, because it is clearly written in the definition and it is also given in the text that if people do not follow the directive principles of state for policy, or if they are not enforced by the government,
Yes,
no
yes.
one can take action against that.
Right.
Only
Ma'am,
for
it is
fundamental
clearly
rights
mentioned in
you
the
can.
text.
Right.
Would
Okay.
have not been enforced.
Therefore, it is none of this. Okay, got it?
Yes.
Have you all understood? All the other students who were telling me High Court and Supreme Court?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Let's go on to the next content. Principles promoting economic equality. The guidelines under this category are, number 1, equal distribution of wealth and resources among all classes of population. What do we mean by classes?
Ma'am, like first class, second class, and third class.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good, very good. First class, second class, the division of the classes,
Ma'am, first
society is
class-
divided into classes, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. The
first
first
point-
classes are the rich, the second classes are the decent, and the third class is the poor.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so the guidelines over here, these are the principles. Please underline equal distribution of wealth among all classes, underline only till classes. That means whether it's high class, lower class, or middle class, there should be equal distribution of wealth. Next, providing adequate means of earning a livelihood. Okay, underline this. Adequate means of earning livelihood. These are the principles, okay, which promotes what? Where is these principles focusing? Which
Promoting economic
Very
equality.
good.
Promoting economic
Excellent,
equality.
excellent. So all these principles are what? Promoting economic equality. That means related to money. Economic means related to money. All right. Next is equal pay for work without any gender discrimination or distinction. Isn't it? Don't you feel it's right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Whether
ma'am.
whether it's a men or a women, okay, a girl or a boy doing a job, the same job, but usually it's since it's a male dominated society, usually boys or male gets more income compared to females. Please underline equal work pay for work without any gender discrimination. Next, ensure a decent standard of living, fair working condition, and opportunities for social and cultural activities. Underline this. That means decent standard of living includes what? A good working condition,
Ma'am,
good
food,
social
proper
and
food,
cultural
health.
activities. Got it? Got this, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Next.
Yes, ma'am.
All four principles of promoting economic equality, everybody understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's do the next four.
Yes.
Okay, protecting the health of working people. Why do you think health of working people is important?
Ma'am, because if
Ma'am, because if the health is not okay, the people will not work.
Okay, but why they should have mentioned general people? Why they specifically said working people?
Ma'am, because
Because they work for the
ma'am, they
health,
work
they
for
work
the
for the
nation.
society. They work for the
Hmm.
society.
That's
See,
why.
working people in no, it is if it is society, then it will come in social, but it is coming economic.
ma'am means the health is
From the
much
company
important
where
than the
these
work.
people are working, ma'am, it would get affected, ma'am.
No. Now listen carefully. Why they have specifically stressed on working people, and why that point is included under economic equality. Okay. See, working people usually is an asset for an economic development, isn't it? If a country is having more working people and less people dependent upon that working people, definitely the GDP will increase of that specific country.
Ma'am, what is GDP?
Who will
Yes,
tell what
ma'am.
is
What is
GDP?
GDP?
Who will tell me what is GDP? No one knows.
Ma'am, economic earning of
No, ma'am.
country.
Gross. I give
Ma'am,
the first
gross
word.
domestic
Gross.
product.
Yes, somebody gave me the answer.
Ma'am, it was Kartike.
Ma'am, it was
Okay, Kartike, very good. Next is workers participating and representing themselves in the management of factories through worker unions. Okay, the person who is sharing the screen, just underline health, protecting the health of working people. Underline this. Workers participating and representing themselves. That means how they are participating and representing themselves through worker unions, right? You have heard about worker unions?
Uh,
You know what does worker union mean? No? No one knows what is worker union? Tell me if
No,
you are.
ma'am.
Ma'am, that work for
No. See, workers union means the workers who are working in the factory. Okay? They form one particular group. All the workers come together and they select from among themselves only one representative who would, if they want to communicate anything to the management or to the owner. So all the workers cannot get up and go and meet the specific owner, right? So it is always the workers who form their union, they come together, they have their representative. It is the representative who speaks on behalf of the rest of the workers. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. Provide for public assistance to the old, aged, sick, and disabled citizens. Okay. That means providing help. Assistance means what?
Providing help.
Providing.
Public help.
Ma'am,
Okay.
providing
So underline
public.
this. Providing public help to all the people who are old, who are aged, or who are sick. Protect children and youth from exploitation. I had explained this in the previous class. Do you know what does the word exploitation mean?
ma'am means we have to save some change.
No, ma'am. It means that that exploitation means we cannot make the young children and youth work in factories and industries because that is the age for
Ma'am,
them.
child labor.
Correct,
Ma'am,
correct.
child labor.
Okay, okay. That is one of the example of being exploited. Okay. So underline this. I hope you understood, children. She explained with an example.
Hmm.
The previous page. So before we go on to the next page, let's discuss whatever we have learned, all the principles of promoting economic equality. What is the first principle?
Equal distribution of wealth and resources among.
So let's revise, children. Principles promoting economic equality. Number one is what?
Equal distribution of
distribution of
resources
wealth
among
and
all
resources
classes.
among
Very
all
good.
people.
Number two.
Provide
Providing
adequate
adequate
means of
Providing
earning
adequate
a
earning
living.
a livelihood.
Yes. Third.
Equal paperwork
Pay for
and
work
gender
without
distinction.
gender distinction.
Yes.
And
Fourth.
Ensure decent standard of living, fair working
working
conditions and opportunities for social and cultural activities.
Excellent. Excellent. Fifth.
Protecting the
Protecting the
Health of working people.
Very good. Very good.
Workers participating
workers participating and representing themselves in the management of
through workers'
workers'
union.
unions.
factories
Okay.
through
Seventh.
workers union.
Workers.
Provides
Old age,
For public
disabled,
assistance for the
disabled
old
citizens.
age and disabled citizens.
and disabled citizens.
Last one.
Protect children and youth.
Protecting children and
youth
youth
from
from
exploitation.
exploitation.
So I hope you all understood these principles.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
And remember, all these principles are related to economy. That means related to
Economic
money.
equality.
Let's go on to the next page.
Okay, ma'am. These are the
Gandhian
Gandhian
principles. Why it is called as Gandhian principles? Because these are the principles given by
Mahatma Gandhi.
Mahatma Gandhi.
the following set of principles are called Gandhian since during his time, Mahatma Gandhi laid out some plans for the development of the welfare state in society. Okay, so it is called as why you might get a question. Okay, give reason why the principles are called as Gandhian principles.
Ma'am, should I underline that point?
It is Mahatma Gandhi ji who had laid down plans for the development of welfare state. That's the reason it is called as Gandhian principles. Please underline Mahatma Gandhi laid out some plans for the development of the welfare state in society. Okay, and just underline the heading. That is the reason it is called as Gandhian principles. Got it, everyone? Next,
Yes, ma'am.
what are the Gandhian principles? Number one, providing free and compulsory education for children up to the age of 14 years. Okay. Number two, prohibit the slaughter of cows and other cattle. Number three, setting up and promotion of cottage industries. Okay, let's understand number one. Have you all understood free and compulsory education?
Yes, ma'am.
Please underline.
Yes.
Okay, prohibit the slaughter of cows. Just underline that. Next, promotion of cottage industries. Fourth, promoting the needs for education among scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and the weaker sections of the society. That means promoting, making aware to these people who are usually considered as weaker sections of the society. Who are weaker sections, children? It is scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other weaker sections. All right.
Yes.
So helping them with education. Next, help in maintaining the health and nutrition of the people. Number four. Next, provide equal opportunity of wages and facilities to all the individuals, irrespective to what?
Irrespective of caste,
Irrespective of caste, creed,
gender,
religion, genders.
Sectors, irrespective of genders, right? Prohibit the consumption of alcohol and other drugs. Establish village panchayats. So these are all the Gandhian principles. You might definitely get a question to, list all the Gandhian principles. So you'll have to learn these principles by heart. I hope you all understood all the Gandhian principles.
Yes, ma'am.
You all can ask me, children.
Ma'am, I am having